3, 2, 1.
My
Oh, God, what?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Damn. Damn.
I had to redo it.
My clap was really bad. That's why. I was gonna say my clap was really bad. It like didn't register at all. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. You know what? Screw it. We're just gonna. Booyah! On this week's episode of Cartoon Buffoons. I'm your host, Wyatt, and who is here with me today, as always?
Hey everybody, it's me, Morgan. I'm Tony Stark's new suit AI Friday.
And who is our very special guest for today's episode?
You know him, you love him. It's Broden, the Time Squad guy.
Yeah, back yet again to talk about... it's to talk about Teen Titans.
I'm
which
only
is what
here
we're here to talk about.
Only
Yeah,
going to
go
talk
ahead.
about the highest quality of cartoon.
Yeah, and only things that start with T for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so we're here to talk about Teen Titans. Debatably a Cartoon Network show because it also aired on Kids WB.
But it more so aired on
yeah,
Cartoon
but I
Network,
feel
yeah.
like it's a Cartoon Network show and Teen Titans Go as a whole thing. So we're fucking talking about it here, baby. It's time to talk about Teen Titans, and this is a episode I've been dreading since
it's a
starting
good episode.
this podcast.
It's a good episode that is well documented. That I, Morgan, love it. Love the show. Big
we
fan.
all know if there's
Big
one thing we all know about Morgan is that she loves Teen Titans.
Yeah,
So-
I have not talked about ad nauseum how much I don't like the show. But we're
Yeah.
excited. We're excited, you know?
Yeah. So Broden, glad to have you back.
I guess.
You know,
Thank you.
we talked about Time Squad. That was again.
That was a
very high-
cartoon?
Yeah, that was a
made by people?
cartoon. And
It sure was.
You know, people drew it one frame after another, and then it aired on television. So
They did.
It's like-
Not necessarily like this one, I don't think.
Yeah. So with this one, I gotta ask: do you have a special history with this one? Do you have any like deep personal memories about waking up and looking under the Teen Titans tree for your nice little Greg Sipes presents and your?
Oh, yummy. I love Greg Sipes. I
Yeah,
love
we
his
all are
little
big
witty
Greg
voice. I love
Sipes
Greg
fans.
Sipes. I love everything he stands for.
Yeah.
I love how vaccinated he is. I love how
it's
safe
awesome.
he is.
How
Yep.
much he believes.
How much mercury is running through his bloodstream?
Yeah, I love how good he probably smells. I bet you he doesn't stink like shit at all.
Yeah.
I would say I have the least special history one could possibly have with Teen Titans.
Okay.
I mean, like, I saw it, you know,
Uh-huh.
most kids around my age saw it.
Yeah.
And at the very least, I guess, like, if anything, I probably watched it less than the average one, just because
You're a little younger than us too, so you're
Yeah.
probably like,
well, yeah.
I'm like you're like in a weird spot where you're not like the 30-year-olds who are insane
No.
about it at their age, but you're also not like you're not also not like young enough to like gone back to like, whoa, this is what cartoons were good. Like you live in that
yeah.
perfect little bubble of I was alive when it was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it I don't know. It was definitely something that always, if it was on, I'd watch it, you know. But
Yeah.
I don't think I ever was like, oh, I gotta keep up with Teen Titans. I gotta keep watching that every day. It was not one of those for me personally, but I was always curious about it, especially like for the very brief moment that I did have access to Cartoon Network and stuff like that. And for some reason, the episode I always remember is the one where Beast Boy gets testosterone.
Right.
I don't know why.
His T-Rage episodes. Okay.
Yeah, his T-Rage episode. I don't know why.
Good for him. Just throwing it out there. Good for him. That's all I'm saying. So.
Beast Boy, the chemicals.
But yeah, Teen Titans. I'm glad we have you on then because we had to force you to watch a whole bunch of episodes of Teen Titans now. So now you're more familiar with it. Morgan, should I go and then you go?
Oh, baby. If you want to go first and then you ask the Big M about it, you feel free to. Go ahead. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I'm like a goon Batman fights right now. Go ahead, boss. Oh. You go first.
So, I remember it airing on Kids WB first because I didn't have Cartoon Network at the time. And then eventually, when I got Cartoon Network, like a couple months later, then that's when I was watching it. I think it fit in pretty well with some of the other stuff on like Kids WB, like Yu-Gi-Oh. That is Kids WB, right? Or was that Fox?
No, that's that. I think, who cares? We know what you mean.
Yeah, whatever. And Pokemon, of course, and everything like that. It had that same like anime style, like to a 8-year-old, watching it.
Right.
We'll talk about that later in this episode, but
we will.
But I remember the first episode being. I'm not sure if this is the case as far as like production order, just like looking at the thing. But I remember the first episode being the one where like Robin and Cyborg fight.
Yeah.
And then,
weird first episode.
Yeah. And then, especially because like the actual first episode makes sense as the first episode way more. Mm-hmm. The one where they fight the Hive kids, and then like it ends with the "Who is Slade,"
right.
which I always remember. But yeah, I remember like watching this a bunch. I think I probably seen every single episode, just like watching it on Toonami and whatever, like Cartoon Network and things like that. I was like going through the episode list when I was like picking episodes to watch, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that one. And then some of them are like, it's weird. I guess we'll talk about it when we're getting into the show in general. But like, I do remember like really enjoying some episodes, and they've like stuck with me, and I made sure to go out of my way to like rewatch those ones.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But then there's a ton of episodes that I was like going through, and I was like, man, I don't remember that one being very good. And I'm just like, I watched this all.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many episodes where it was just like, I don't know, whatever. That one, even ones that I thought were good that I watched, sometimes I would be like, oh, that wasn't as good as I remember.
You are trying to activate me like a sleeper soldier. I'm trying to stay calm.
Yeah.
Right now. Unless you finish. I'm like, ooh.
But I will say that, like, it is a common millennial / Zoomer talking point talking about the show.
Yeah.
As far as, like, this was sort of Cartoon Network's version of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
We have a lot in common.
Uh-huh. Shut up. And, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You can hear me vibrating over here. Just
I'll just end it off and hand it over to you, Morgan, by saying that it is a show that a lot of people have a lot of emotional, nostalgic attachment to, because it has a lot of like cool moments in it. Mm-hmm. And then I would wager to say 90% of the actual substance of it is completely vanishes in their brain, and they just remember all of the cool stuff.
Unrelated. Remember what I think I said about Sonic Boom, where all the good clips about Sonic Boom are on Twitter? That's all I'm going to say.
That'd be fun episode to talk about.
Oh my god, it would. We would just like go, damn, this is the best cartoon you've seen all the good parts of.
Yeah. We were watching it. Oh, the show actually sucks. Like not good. Oh god, like whenever we get into that like Sonic Boom Gumball era, it's like
man.
It's gonna suck ass. Anyway, Morgan, what's your history with this show?
It's time.
My history with this show is that I watched this show growing up, like everyone did.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a very Justice League focused child. I was very into Justice League. And I was very excited when this show came out. And even at the ripe age of, like, I don't know,
Like
11.
9. Yeah.
11-year-old Morgan understood something none of my peers understood. This shit was fucking mid. Brother, I was like, hey guys, we have anime on this channel.
Yeah.
Brother, we have action cartoons like Justice League on this channel. What is special?
Yeah.
You know? Like, I think I might have awoken as a person from how, like, just fine I found it first. And as I gotten older, like, let's say we're in teen years now, and I started reading the Teen Titans run that, like, came before this and all that stuff, that, like, this show is just mid, warped into hate quickly.
Right.
Because this show has erased all of the things that came before it related to Teen Titans. It has just destroyed it.
Yeah.
This very mid show. So most of my life, I just was like, and I want you to imagine this. I was in like middle school and high school being like, yeah, I just didn't think it was very good. I might as well have said, I think Reagan should have like won another election. Like the way I was like perceived after saying, I don't think this is very good. Fucking crazy. So I just kind of, knowing me, I doubled down. I tripled down. I was like, actually, this show is the worst cartoon to ever come out. Everyone die. I'm right. So that was my issue. Yeah. And like, as stuff went on, I like started getting really heavy into DC Comics, and DC's like one of my favorite comic brands. And to this day, you still feel the pain of what this show did.
Right.
And then Teen Titans Go came out, and it was just like a better cartoon that was more focused. And like, even though overexposure to Teen Titans Go is not fucking perfect. Let me just say.
Yeah, sure.
But like, it was more focused and had stuff going on with it. So like, yeah, I went from like this show's fine to I hate this show so quickly because of people's negative reactions to me thinking it's just fine.
And negative reactions to Teen Titans Go. That's a huge part of it, because I remember this on like Tumblr. In,
No,
like 2013, 2014.
Because, like, 2013 Tumblr, people are like, this show destroys the memory of what the original cartoon was. Like, the original cartoon destroyed the memory of the comics. What the fuck is your point?
Yeah. I'm say
like
the original cartoon, like, yeah. I don't know. We're going to get into it, but...
Yeah, that was, like, my general connection to it. I did also, one of the things I remember vividly was, this show is, like, hinted at to be made canon to the DCAU and all the other shows except for itself, and it drove me insane as a child.
Yeah.
Static Shock goes.
Sense, but...
Static Shock, like, hey, yeah, you're gonna meet the Titans one day. Static never happens. Bruce gets asked, hey, where's Robin at? He's with his new team. You'll see him. Never happens. And all the side stuff. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like, is it illegal? Like, I remember being so annoyed as a fucking kid at that. Like, I didn't need an MCU connection, but stop fucking teasing it if it's not going to happen. I don't know.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, is that with Teen Titans, I was never like a comic reader, so I don't have that like specific attachment to, who are the Teen Titans in the comics? How do these differ from them? To me, it's just like, oh yeah, these are these characters. Now that I'm a little bit older, coming back to the show is very weird.
Super weird.
And if like, maybe you can relate to me. I don't understand the decision to make it so that none of them are people.
It's so...
It is maybe like,
one of the
I think, up there with one of the worst decisions anyone has made while creating a cartoon as an adaptation of something.
Yeah.
I think what's crazy about it is that like, and we're going to talk about when we get to the last season, they start to try to fix it.
Yeah.
But it's like way too fucking
It's
late.
too fucking late.
Yeah.
We'll get to it later, but like I do think the last season of the show is the best season of the show. I think the last season 5 is like
Doom
crazy.
Patrol
Like
one?
yeah, it gets crazy good. But I'm like, bro, what the fuck have we been doing for 6 years? Like, who gives a shit? Like,
Yeah. See, and that's the thing. There's like good stuff in this show. Like there are plenty of the episodes that I watched for this, which I didn't watch like a ton, but I watched probably like 10 episodes. I was like, that was pretty good. Some of them I was like, oh, I remember that being better than it was. But for the most part, you know, I was like, oh yeah, this is good if I forget like 50% of what happened in this episode.
Yeah,
Sometimes
like-
more. It's
like-
good.
I think the thing that gets me is that, and this is so rare for me to say about an action cartoon. I get why Teen Titans Go is a comedy.
Yeah.
This show, even though it doesn't always make me laugh, this show feels more genuine when it's goofy and funny. Because every dramatic beat they do is immediately undercut by them not being people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Immediately. Like, oh, this is a funny episode where Beast Boy's like, I need to get a moped. I'm going to go work at a burger place, even though I'm a vegetarian. Totally cool. This episode's fine. This is pretty funny. It's a little whatever. But the episode like this, hey guys, Cyborg's upset because he has robot parts. Nigga, y'all only call him Cyborg. Maybe if we called him anything else.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, this happens not once, not twice, like 6 different episodes is about his personhood, and they only refer to him as
And
fucking
they only
Cyborg
call
in
him
it. And I'm like,
Cyborg, and it's like, I fucking wonder why.
Yeah.
dude, you needed these guys to have real human names.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm trying to figure out why this happened. Like, from like, I just dropped my phone. It's very loud. Whatever. I'm trying to figure out why this happened from like a, like in the show thing. Like, was it a legal thing? And I don't think it was because like, and like it's not like a well, it would confuse kids. No, we had Justice League. They're calling like Wonder Woman Diana all the time. They're calling him Bruce all the time. Like, what the fuck happens? It's so weird, and I'm like, guys. You can't have an emotional core to a show like this.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to work.
Kids are able to be like, oh, his name is Clark Kent and Kal-El. Like, he has two... Like,
Yeah.
people are able to understand this, you know, the whole fucking... Yeah, like, even Batman and Superman before it are like, okay, here's these dorky guys in their normal lives, and then... Here's that. Well, Batman becomes less dorky when he becomes a hero, but
he's
like,
a Chad.
yeah, and he becomes like as the seasons go on, he goes from like, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" Like Bruce Wayne to like he matches Batman a little bit more when he's Bruce Wayne, but you know whatever. But yeah, I don't think it annoyed me that much as a kid. I kind of just like took it at face value again because I don't know these characters really, and just watching as an adult. Every single time I've watched the show, like later on in my life, every subsequent time I'm like, this is annoying. Like I'm just so annoyed
Super annoying.
that they're not fucking people.
Like,
and it's like
I think
a
it's
couple
more
of them
annoying
I
than
could
bad.
be like, okay, sure, you know. Raven, that could be her name. I don't fucking know, honestly. And
It
like
is.
Starfire or whatever. Oh, by the way, I'm like looking at the like the season overview, and it's like, oh, each season is like based off a Titan, and Starfire is the only one that does not get a season.
Yeah, what the fuck? No.
Like-
What?
Yeah,
I-
no,
okay,
it's
so-
like, oh, the first season's Robin, the second season's Tera.
Bitch.
Oh, the new character that was introduced in the
Bitch,
second
half
season.
of... I'm sorry. I watched like a good 30 episodes total of this, for this.
Yeah.
Bitch, half of every season is Robin's season.
Yeah.
No. Here's how it goes. It is first season's Robin, second season is Robin and Tara, third season is Cyborg. I will say that
Yes.
one is just straight up about Cyborg.
Yeah,
I
that
give
one
them
is Cyborg, yeah.
Season 4 is Raven, but also Robin.
Also Robin.
Yeah,
And season 5 is Beast Boy with a smaller amount of Robin. And I'm
Yeah.
like, shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. Also, the fact that there is 5 seasons and they couldn't bother to do all 5 members is so funny.
It's just
Very.
funny that, like, it makes me think that this was just a coincidence.
Yes.
Because the fact that season 2, it seems like it is like, oh yeah, of course we're gonna do, because every single other season was like, yeah, we're basing it on this person, except for 2, which is just Tera, a character that it was introduced and it dies in that season. So, like,
who also realistically is like in 5 episodes.
Yeah.
No, she is not in most of that season.
Yeah, and she's voiced by what's her face from The Last of
Ashley
Us.
From Critical Role, Wyatt. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Get it together. No, but like, okay, so I guess I do want to like talk about each season kind of individually.
Yeah,
because I do think
I tried to watch episodes from each season. So I
think this show, and I don't like this show. I'm just gonna get it clear out there. Okay. I don't like this show. I think across the no, I just want to make this clear. I think across the board, this show is like a C+. Mm-hmm. At its best, we're hitting a B. At its worst, we're hitting a D. But we're hitting a D a lot. Across the board, I think this show does get better.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think the longer the show goes on, it gets better, which I think is cool. Because I think if we got like a season 6, the show could have maybe finally been truly good. But we didn't. But we didn't. But like season 1 of this show is, I think, so fucking confusing.
Yep.
So confusing so that it feels like the season of a show that didn't get a season 2. Like it's like that quality. It's the quality of a show that goes,
yes.
You're not. I think this show can't figure out if Robin is like cool, happy Robin that he was in like a lot of other projects at the time, or if he's Batman Jr.
Yeah.
He fluctuates in these episodes to a degree that gives me whiplash.
Yeah, that I can tell that because when I was watching episodes, there would be episodes where he is being like very like serious and gravelly and everything, and I'm like, this is weird. And then sometimes there would be episodes where he's not like that, and I'd be like, this is weird. It just feels like he's a very inconsistent. Yeah. Like his existence doesn't make any sense as a character, because like I understand that the whole thing is like, oh, he's fulfilling like the leader / Batman role, but the point of Robin is to contrast Batman.
Yeah.
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
Like, at least in the modern day, like, at the time that this show was being created.
And the thing is, you could have lit all of this, you could have used this.
Yeah.
You could take this idea that he doesn't really know how to act, or, like, if he wants to be Batman, or if he wants to be his own person, and how to go about things. You could use that as a basis for a really good character arc, but he's not a character. He's not allowed.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think there's some good moments of, like, the characters I'm being like, oh, that's like they feel like a teenager or whatever.
Right.
Some. Like, in season 1, I watched the Cyborg falls into a pit and a robot guy operates on him episode.
God.
And, which we'll talk about in a sec. But, like, there's a moment where he runs into a kid who's voiced by Tara Strong, and the kid's like, I'm just like you, and shows a prosthetic that he has. And then Cyborg's response is like, "Oh, okay." Like, it just kind of like, he's not like, "Hey man, that's like," he's not PR trained or anything. He's just kind of like an awkward interaction because he doesn't know how to respond to this. And I was like, that's pretty, that's realistic.
Yeah. So I think the issue that Robin was having in this season is that, so I don't know if you know this, Robin kind of goes out and does the Titan stuff usually as a I fucking hate you, Bruce kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And if you don't have Batman and stuff, you can't really explain why Robin is so moody and all over the place.
Yeah.
He just seems like a psychopath. Like, when you don't have the context...
Especially considering, like, the first chunk of the show is so often about his obsession over Slade.
Yeah.
It makes him come across insane.
Like, why are you so obsessed with him? Because we have to stop him. Why? The answer is he wants to prove that he can stop a big-time villain without Batman. Yeah. That's the answer. But the show can't acknowledge that this is Dick Grayson or he used to be Batman's sidekick directly. Yep. So instead, he seems crazy.
Yeah, he's just crazy.
Like, we don't know his motivation. We don't know what he's trying to prove. And the thing that gets me is that at this point, how long has Batman the animated series been fucking going on?
Yeah.
You could have just done that.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
Robin was like last like 2 seasons or whatever. He was in.
Yeah, he's like, that's like people's first exposure to Dick in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like you didn't like. Well, it's a different universe, dog. You didn't have to confirm that it's the same universe. You could just simply said he was Batman's sidekick and he had a falling out. That happens literally in that show.
Yeah.
He has a falling out with Batman in that show.
He feels very similar to Terry, which, not to say, look, I know I love Batman Beyond, so I'm not conflating these two shows. I think Batman Beyond's a better show, but it's very similar because it's like, oh, he's Batman Jr., you know, but he still is also kind of a teen that is, you know, having fun and the cyberpunk business and all that. Whereas, like, this one, also this world, we just got to throw in, like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
It's so empty. It's
yeah,
so
it doesn't
empty.
feel like a real world. It feels like they're
really
in like a
doesn't.
simulation or a video game or something.
Yeah.
The entire time that I was watching the show, I was thinking of OKKO because
What is this place?
Because in OKKO, all the characters are heroes, right? So like, most of them you don't know their real name. It's just, but some of them you do. Like, you know, KO's mom is Carol, and you know, Elbow, Mr. Gar. But like, the background is populated. It just goes all in on the toy box aspect of it. The background is like completely populated by heroes. That's kind of what I like about the final season, is that they just go completely apeshit.
Yeah, no, that's why it starts working. Yeah. But like in the first season, the backgrounds are like, dog. I feel like I'm looking at a Kubo fight scene from Bleach. Like it's just blank. There's nobody there. They're fighting villains in the void with no one there to save. All the cars are empty. All the buses are empty. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Some episodes in season 1, like, I think it does have some, like, what I would call iconic episodes, or at least memorable episodes. But every one of them that I watched, I was like, I didn't like that as much as I thought I would. Like the Sisters episode.
It's fine.
Yeah, and like the Forces of Nature with the thunder and lightning.
I would say that one's almost bad.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I remember the ending of it. I was like, oh, this is like pretty cool. And then like watching it, I was just like, you know, whatever. And then some of his parts was one where I was like, as I was watching, I was like, wait, what the fuck is this? Like, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this one being cool. And then as I was watching, I was like, wait, what is this episode even trying to say? Like, what stance is it taking? Like, what is
this show has like the largest message issue on Earth. Like I'm gonna let Broden talk about some of his parts, but I'm gonna talk about the Forces of Nature one first. I think the message of like Beast Boy plays too much, right?
Yeah.
I love that like Starfire's mad at him and there's no resolution. She just almost dies and then she's like, I forgive you. I'm like, wait a minute, you didn't do anything. You just like, and the thing is though, that happens so often. There's like a fake problem.
Yes.
They don't do anything and it's solved. And it happens so often. The message is so bad. Also, I gotta say, this is the episode where Slade is like a weird ninja monk and has powers. And I have to say, what are you doing, my nigga? What is he ever doing? What is Slade ever doing?
No, we are gonna talk about
we're gonna
Slade.
get to Slade. We're gonna get to Slade.
We will.
Dude,
oh man,
fucking aura farming ass bitch.
He's such he is so emblematic of the show and of kids being like, this show fucking rules, it's so cool. And then coming back to it, he is emblematic of the show just in what it really is and what its problems are.
I've never seen a villain more obsessed with grooming teenagers than Slade.
Yeah, also, to no final goal either. No, he's doing it for a love of the game.
For the love of the game.
He grooms teenagers for a love of the game, dude. It's crazy. Like, and I'm like, oh, he's so cool. I'm like, listen, I don't even like Deathstroke in the comics. This dude is objectively worse than Deathstroke in the comics. It's crazy.
No, we'll get into it more, but truly, genuinely, the reason why anybody even remembers Slade, let alone fondly, is because he has a cool design and he's voiced by Ron
and a cool
Perlman.
voice. That's it. Ron Perlman is solo carrying this dog shit character.
But no, I love that the first time you meet him is when he's like, "Hello, I am a mystic Asian man." Is like, yeah, All right,
Okay.
that's cool. Great, love that.
I love the reveal. I love the reveal. It's me, Slade. Actually, I'm like, why? Why did you put all that on? Why did you? No one knows who you are. You have a disguise for your disguise. What are you, high?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, Broden, what about some of his parts? Let's talk
some
about
of his
that.
fucking parts, dude. It is the most beautifully confused thing where it has such a strong initial idea.
Yeah.
Like, truly, genuinely, it beginning with showing that Cyborg isn't just cool robot man with a cannon and shit, but instead being like, oh fuck, I literally effectively am living with a disability that can interfere with my quality of life.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I just can't do the shit that other people take for granted. I can't do that. Specifically the idea of, yeah, every now and then I gotta go back to a specific building and get hooked up to a machine to kind of sort me out is like, oh shit, this is actually making a parallel that is like genuine and interesting and like talking about something. That's great. That's wonderful. Then the kid comes up and is like, okay, I understand where they're going with that. And again, his reaction initially is like very realistic, and again it kind of gets into the fact that they're just a bunch of teens.
It naturally leads you to be like, oh, there's going to be a second scene at the end of the episode when he meets up with the kid. Like you're naturally like set up like, okay, this is gonna go somewhere.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
It's like off to a good start. It's what
Good start.
I'm saying.
A genuinely very good start that I was surprised by. I was like, oh, okay. Personally, if you're gonna make connections, it's odd that they didn't just straight up do the more obvious thing of having another kid who like has a condition that makes it so he has to return to like the hospital or something every now and then. But
yeah, it's more
maybe
superficial,
that would have taken a little too much time out of the episode to ride around and stuff. Whatever, I get it. And then he gets trashed. And then he meets the fucking doctor.
Yeah.
And the spooky reveal of him being like, oh, dude, I could fix you. I could just make you all robot. Is so confusing to the allegory they were making.
Yeah.
Because it kind of, due to the nature of the specific allegory of this, he is saying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn you into nothing but your condition.
Yes.
Which isn't what they're trying to say, but that is due to how they coached up the language of this episode. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's confusing as shit.
It's very weird because then the episode goes from being like, oh, here's this condition that makes him feel othered, but there are people that he knows. Like, there are people in the world that he can inspire and whatever, like, be representation for, essentially. Then it becomes like, oh, you have this bad condition, but don't worry, because you're still part human, it overrides the badness of your condition.
Dude, could you imagine if we were just robots? That'd be fucking disgusting.
Yeah. It's like that. It's like
So
all cyberpunk
insulting.
stuff always goes in, transhumanism is like a huge part of that. And the idea is like, when do you stop becoming a human? And then the further idea is like, what is meaningfully a human?
Right.
Does it matter? That's like AI and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, those are obviously lofty ideas. Maybe you don't want to have them in like a children's show, but like, again, this goes for something very interesting, but then it resolves it in a very like, in a way that I was immediately like, I don't know if this this is what you should be doing with this storyline.
Like, the most generous thing you could say about the last part of this episode, the most generous take you can have on it, is that Cyborg is saying, hey kids, it doesn't matter the crutch you're using, but the person using it. And it's like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
When was that in question? First of all, that's fucking insane.
You're
Second of
still a
all-
human even though you have a disability.
Yeah,
Like,
don't worry.
Which sounds,
You're a person.
Which is like, yeah, sure, that's kind of encouraging, but it also feels a
It's
little backhanded.
condescending.
Like, yeah.
So
Dude,
bizarrely condescending.
it doesn't matter that you're a freak. I mean,
Yeah. Here's what should have been the fucking issue is that, and they do this in a later episode, kind of, but like, if he becomes like so reliant on his robot half, you know,
Right.
and the human half is like a crutch, or not a crutch, but it's like something that's like holding him back or whatever, and it's like, oh, there's some days I wish I didn't have. Like, maybe he broke up with somebody, or, you know, some heartbreak happens, some kind of, like, turmoil happens involving something
His
that
human
directly
self, yeah.
affects his human self, and then he has doubts about whether he even wants it anymore because he's already halfway there. And
Right.
then this robot comes and is going to be like, I can take that all away from you. I can take your pain. And then as it gets closer to, like, the final moment, that's when he starts to realize, like, no, I love my humanity. I want to retain it. And then that would make Robot Guy, like, reading his memories of the one afternoon and be like, it's so beautiful. You know?
Oh, God. Oh, shit, you have a friend who has boogers and burps.
Yeah. Wow, she drank mustard. This is...
I do want to say, and this is all being said, Cyborg is still probably the strongest written character.
Yeah. Oh,
Which
absolutely.
is insane. Like,
He's
they
been my
fumble-
favorite character since I was a kid, and is still my
they
favorite.
fumble his messaging every single time, and
Every
he somehow
time.
still manages to be the best written character. in the
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
which
No,
is crazy.
straight up.
Look, also, by the way, we're gonna wait till we get to like the art section of the show to talk about this. He's also the only character design in the show that goes crazy.
Yeah, it's great.
I do not like most of the character designs in the show, but he goes really good.
Yeah.
But like, and then like we get like other episodes this season. Like we get the Aqualad episode,
Will we?
which is with Will Wheaton as
Uh-huh.
I guess we'll segue into talk about the voice actor before you talk about the other seasons. But Will Wheaton as Aqualad. Whoever's idea this was, I'm gonna backhand the shit out of you. I'm so tired of hearing Wesley fucking Crusher do this shitty Aqua. Like, he's such a heartthrob. It's Will Wheaton. I know his fucking weird face is underneath this.
Yeah.
You're not fooling anybody. You're not fooling me.
Yeah.
But I will say, even if I do not like the voice cast for the most part, that's not true. It's only two niggas I don't like. This is like the most iconic voice cast, though. You got to give credit where credit's due.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is like 5 voice actors, 2 of which are untalented, but 3 that are very talented, that are like the most known. I have to say, as I was watching through these episodes, after I watched like 40 episodes of this, if I have to hear Tara Strong's Raven vocal fry
Oh, my God.
for another second, I'm going to blow the fuck up. I can't handle her. Everybody, it's me, Raven. Like, shut the fuck up.
I get the whole point is that she is a, like, you know, a goth girl that's kind of like shutting in her emotions, but she's so, like, her performance is just so, like, flat the entire
yeah.
time
So
that it's just
bad.
kind of like,
Dude, was
you know.
Grey DeLisle busy?
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, right.
She's kind of like, for years I was like, oh yeah, that's who it is, and then, you know, like when I was like 15 or whatever, and like rewatching the show and like learning about cartoons and voice actors, I was like, oh, Tara Strong, that's kind of weird. And then like, yeah,
Oh,
and
it's
then,
weird, all right.
yeah,
Not very good.
but like
No,
Scott
it's not.
Manville is
Scott
like,
Menville does a good job, yeah.
is pretty good. Like I you know, because he usually just did like nerdy characters before this, like what's his name, Kevin and Mission Hill. I mean, that's the one that I can think of off the top of my head. But and then like Starfire is pretty good as Hynden Walsh,
Hayden?
who was also
Yeah.
whatever. Who is like Princess Bubblegum and stuff like that. Later on.
I think it's funny. I think she's fine here at Starfire. I do hate the way Starfire is written, but truly,
Yes.
it just makes me go, wow. She's just better in every other role. Because Princess Bubblegum, she kills it every single
Yeah.
time.
Oh, God,
she
yeah.
is.
With any material. So like when I see her here, I'm like, damn, they were just like, this
That's
is not
what-
for you.
That's like my big
Yeah.
takeaway with Princess Bubblegum was like, oh man, she's like actually a really good.
Yeah, she's a fantastic voice actress. Yeah, Carrie Payton, fantastic voice actor and actor. Literally, literally works with whatever you give him, even if it's bad in this show. He can work with it and make it into something.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
I feel like genuinely an issue that I have in relation to the voice acting in this show, for the most part, barring the two, for the most part, it seems like it almost entirely usually has to do with direction.
Yeah.
More than anything. There are so many scenes where I'm like, that's just not how I would have them do it personally, and it just didn't feel quite where it should be. And I know that, but it's never a case of like, oh, they couldn't, or it's the actor's fault. It never feels that way, genuinely. Like, it always feels like sometimes the direction and like the writing and stuff just never line up all the way, and scenes and context in scenes aren't always taken, and which that happens with a lot of cartoons. It's just the nature of the beast. I get it. But it happens a lot, it felt like, in this show. Where they're doing very good for what they're given, but it isn't always... a lot of it could do with a punch-up.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of screams in this show, also, that definitely needed another take.
Yes.
Like, emotional moments that, like, definitely feel like they needed something else. I will say, also... They kind of said a lot of these, like Tara Strong specifically and Greg Sice, because they put these guys against some villain voice actors that are destroying it. They are killing it. Like Ron Perlman Slade again, fantastic voice acting for a character that does next to nothing for me. John DiMaggio as Brother Blood in season 3, fantastic.
So good.
What's another? Oh yeah, Tom Kenny is Mumbo Jumbo.
Yeah, he's my favorite. He is. I think
Malcolm McDowell is Mad Mod. Like they just have some of the best voice acting casting, and I'm just hearing, damn, y'all are fuck, man, y'all can't hang. Like
Mumbo, the episode in season 3, I think it is, where he like turns them all into animals, might be my favorite episode of the whole show. It's like that. Because I'm just like, it feels like you said, it feels like it's tonally consistent. It feels like it's in that sillier, lighter tone. Yeah, I don't think the show is bad when it does the darker stuff. It's just so...
It's weaker.
It's so fucking cringy. I'm just going to say it.
Okay.
How often this show just... There's so many jokes or things in it where it's just like, if they toned it down from like a 15 to like 7 or 6, would be way funnier. But it's just so over the top. And so... Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up that episode, because the only joke I can see, I had to take a minute thing was when you're like, ha, I can turn you into animals. Ha, ha.
Yeah.
Plant, fuck you, bitch. Like, that's like a really good goof. And like, damn, what if all the episodes like this? And that's what Teen Titans Go is. So.
Right. Yeah.
I think with the tone stuff, it has a tendency to feel more at home when it's doing just pure episodic kind of like not taking itself too seriously. And then I think the reason is, the only way I could put it is that whenever they do serious stuff, all I can think of is that this is like a generic Saturday morning cartoon with an identity crisis.
Yeah.
Like it is just a Saturday morning cartoon, but it yearns to be more, but it doesn't know how. Yeah. So it's doing things that on paper are very dramatic and have a lot of stakes and like should have a lot of emotions in it. But it always feels only maybe half a step above like fucking G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Like truly, like genuinely. Like it's these moments that are supposed to be big, but it's just like, yeah, where's like any of the depth at all?
And, like, I think I would be so much kinder to the show if it didn't have so many fucking contemporaries at this point.
Yes.
That's what makes me really angry about this show, like, at its core. Is that, like, I want to go, well, no one was really doing that. No, but, like,
time.
Static Shock was airing. Justice League was airing. Yeah. Fucking Ben 10's around the corner. Like, and Ben 10 is another deal. Ben 10's not perfect.
Yeah,
but, like...
Yeah.
But, like, this thing had cousins and things it could see and do. Like... Static Shock is doing episodes with school shootings.
Yeah.
We're doing episodes where, like, real racism happens. Like, and, like wealth inequality. Like, what the fuck is this, like, we're dancing around issues that you're happening here? Like...
Yeah, it doesn't feel...
Weird.
it's all very like, I guess like character dynamic based, which I do appreciate, but it's not, to me, something like Static Shock. The problems come organically from like the characters, like man versus like society or whatever, you know, like the world around them, instead of just like, this is very like these interpersonal problems that then like come to a head, and are like reflected in whatever like villain or monster of the week or whatever the fuck they're fighting. There's like some examples of like, you know, where that's not like, I feel like the rabbit bunny raven episode, like that episode is not like that doesn't fall into that category because it doesn't really have any of the Titans like arguing with each other or really having any type of self-doubt or whatever. It's just like, oh, they're getting fucked with by this,
evil
like, guy. Yeah. So, and it doesn't have like a big lesson or anything at the end, so it like can't fuck that up basically. But yeah, I don't know.
I do think like and I guess like before we go back to seasons, I do want to talk about the art of this show because I think the art lends into like the biggest problem of the show. I think that designs to the side, this show is really good to look at. I think it's animated well almost across the board.
Yeah.
I also think that this is a show, and I will give credit to Glenn Murakami because it's in everything he makes pretty much. This show is more so than anything else he's ever worked on, deeply inspired by a specific era of Japanese manga and anime.
Right.
I think like when it comes to a lot of things that like Westerners make or like for Western audiences, people like to go, oh yeah, we're inspired by Astro Boy, and it's so literal in how they like are inspired by Astro Boy. But this show legitimately is going out of its way to look like stuff of that era. It's going out of its way to like how characters are drawn, how they're shaped, and not just one for oneing it, like truly getting the vibe of it. And I think that's like the best quality of the show. I think is like looking at these characters and going, wow, I know what he was looking at, I know what he was studying, but it doesn't have to be like a one-to-one, put it next to each other, you know exactly right away.
Yeah.
That being said, I think he's also inspired by how those shows are written and done. But the issue is that a lot of those shows that he's like taking from are not superhero shows.
Yeah.
They're Japanese ideas of superhero shows. Superhero shows in the West have always been kind of like connected to the city. The cities have to be characters, the people have to be characters, and they have to connect back to the heroes. So having a show where it's just kind of about the heroes and no one else really in the background, he already shot himself in the foot and leg before the show even began. I think it makes the show look very good, and I think that's why like the style of the show is so like still to this day. But I think he immediately shot his legs out from underneath him while making a superhero show based on Western comics.
Yeah. Like you said, the city is just like a generic battleground. It's like fucking maps in like Quake or something. Like it's just like they just like choose a level and then they're like, all right, we're fighting here. This is the Tekken arena where there's nothing going on in the background.
No, every single fucking environment is a place that you fly over in Budokai Tenkaichi.
Yeah.
Like where the buildings
keep bringing different examples.
Like all the buildings are just like blocks and shit that nobody like. The streets are fucking empty. Like it's just things, no people, just things.
Yeah.
And like, and the things like I will say like the show like still looks good.
Yeah.
But like when you have a show that's like not a show about people fighting each other, but like superheroes at its core, I've said this about a lot of things in the last few years. If you're not saving anyone, I care less.
Yeah.
These guys are just brawling a lot.
Yeah, they're just
brawling a lot in the streets. Like, it's so strange, and the fights look good. I do think we're gonna get to it now. The shoe will drop. I said a lot of good things about his art direction. Let's be mean. This show has the most boring character design across the fucking board, usually. And it's usually reserved for women. I hate the way they look in the show. Yeah. They sucked all the cunt out of Starfire. They sucked all the cunt and serving and queendom out of her. And this design we are still feeling repercussions from how bad this design is.
The Teen Titans, the show, fucking Starfire, is like a cat that got a fucking bucket of water dumped on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, that is what she feels like as Starfire. Is she had a fucking bucket of water dumped on her. She looks like a weird little fucking sopping gremlin
Yeah.
compared to what she usually looks like.
Yeah, like, not to mention the fucking denigrification of so many characters in the show. Not even to mention that Jinx is now white with pink hair that looks like shit. Starfire is boring as hell to look at. Even other characters, people go, man, Slade looks cool. Does he? Does he? Like, does he
Right.
really?
He has like a few simple like bits of iconography basically on him that work, but that's like kind of it. His musk is cool. That's it. Really.
Yeah, it's just his mask. And like, if they would have just gave him the Deathstroke like armor in certain paces, I think it would have worked. Make him like a weird night guy. Like, I love Deathstroke's chainmail. It's strange.
Yeah.
Really quickly, it's so funny. I think a combination of a couple things made him so much cooler, even just looking in the later seasons. One, for some reason, adding that stupid mark to the middle of his musk, kind of sick.
Yeah.
It kind of made it made him pop a little more. And two, one thing in the episode where he comes back to fucking life. Something they do that for some reason made him feel way more interesting to look at and to listen to was that in the scene where he shows up in the arena that they fight in, it's all metal, and unlike any other time before, they make it so his boots like scrape against the metal like they're heavy metal.
Yeah.
And it made him so much more interesting to watch.
Yeah. I'll also give a shout out to Brother Blood as like a cool character design.
I agree.
Like, I think that
yes.
he is, because he is just like a evil priest or whatever, like looking dude, but there is just something like simple and intimidating.
Yeah.
And then like his robot, you know.
Yeah, because he looks like shit in the comics. I don't even understand why. He looks awful in the comics.
Yeah, I like his vestments, and he takes them off, and now he's a fucking cultist monk.
Yeah.
It's so fucking fun.
Yeah.
And then
like,
his
cool.
dumb cyborg version is fun too. Like,
Also, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say that my favorite episode visually, and this might be not a surprise at all, if anybody knows my taste, but the Cyborg the Barbarian, that episode, because it's like, 3000 BC, like ancient Sumeria that he's like sent back to. They're like in a city state with all the, like adobe buildings, and then there's like all the Bronze Age people with like metal and stone armor, and the like bug monsters that are like coming. I was like, fuck yeah, dude, this kicks ass. Give me a whole show of this.
We'll get to it next episode when we watch Unlimited.
Yeah.
But they truly steal that episode straight up.
Yeah.
And it's cooler. And they just do like, what if Green Lantern went there and didn't have his lantern, and he's just wearing armor? I'm like, this does go
That's
crazy.
pretty sick, yeah.
Yeah. I have this in my notes, and I got to think about this a lot. I have written in my notes, what the fuck does Slade's hideout do? I don't know if you guys remember. It just has gears spinning, not connecting to each other, pistons going, and like from a Morgan, I love cool character design stuff. I'm like, this is fine, but I am curious, what the fuck is happening?
it
here?
implies the
Is it
craziest clock tower that's ever existed is in the
But
city,
he's
and we never see
underground!
it. And it's underground too. So it's like, what the fuck is this doing? Where are
Yeah.
we? What is this? What is it for? And I think that I think visually, however, that connects perfectly to Slade. Because what the fuck is he doing? What is he doing? What does he want?
We were about to talk about season 2 anyway, and Slade's important this season. I cannot, for the life of you, figure out what he's doing, and if he's doing it, what is like, and not like in a mysterious way, like in a is he stupid? Like question mark me looking to him, is he stupid? My friend thing like this. Oh yes, my season 1 plan is to infect all the Titans with a disease that will kill them. That way, Robin has to side with me, or I'll kill his friends.
Yeah.
Robin, here's your final test: kill your friends, or I'll kill them. Slade, what the fuck?
Slade? What?
This doesn't quite work, Slade. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, if you're telling him to kill his friends or you'll kill his friends, what's the motivator? Well,
I first of all, I like that in the episode Tera, it says villain slayed giant scorpion because she's getting chased by a giant scorpion at the beginning of the episode. Second, even though he is extremely creepy in this episode with his like, oh,
Right.
I can't wait to meet you, Tera, like at the beginning of the episode, and I do really like the scene where he's confronting her like alone in the cave, and you know she's like when she starts saying like don't lose control, and he's like, oh silly girl, you thought you ever had control to begin with. Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good, like villain getting inside.
Dude, he's aura farming you, Wyatt. Don't
Yeah.
fall for it. He's aura farming you.
He's
But
literally
it's just like, yeah, I have problems with this episode though, just in the sense of like I understand the whole point is to set up a teammate that we want to be a part of the team, but it's going to be tragic because she becomes a villain and then dies.
right.
But like,
write it though.
yeah, the problem
how about
with-
you write it?
The problem with the episode, in my opinion, is how manufactured the drama is.
That is,
Where like,
Dude, okay, hold on. Oh, wait. I'm so glad you brought this up.
Yes.
They go, Tara's like this, I can't control my powers. The way we see it, sometimes rocks float when she doesn't want it to. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute.
What the fuck do you
that's
mean?
not... Dude, make her collapse a building. Like a whole building.
Yeah,
Make her do something like
of
this.
consequence happen.
You're like, nah, I just can't control it really. And I love that like the episode ends with like her getting mad at me. He's like, I told you not to tell anybody. This bitch has been like making stuff fall, like tripping and falling all episode.
You think it was a
and
secret?
Robin goes, I know you can't control your powers. You told him. I'm like, I don't think anyone had to. You're like very
Yeah,
obviously
you're very
bad at your
literally-
powers.
literally two beasts were like, yeah, I just figured it out myself. You didn't need to tell me.
And the thing, like, okay, so again,
Like I'm like, is she dumb? Like, is she dumb? Go ahead.
in concept, a lot of it like makes sense on paper, but in practice, something that permeates through so much of the show, especially the first half, and especially with villains, but quite fucking frankly, also the Titans and just anybody that is supposed to mean anything, pretty much, is motivation.
Yeah.
They don't know what the fuck anyone's motivation is at any
Yeah.
point for any reason. Why? How come Tera keeping a secret that wasn't even a secret and then getting mad? How come that spirals into her genuinely trying to murder them?
Yeah.
Dude, no, she
How-
literally she becomes a Nazi. They make it fashion like it's Nazi
Yeah.
Germany up in that bitch.
And like the thing is,
what the
what
fuck?
the first part of that two-parter, at the end, I thought, oh, they all survived because she meant for that to happen. Like she didn't want to go through with it. But then the second episode does nothing but imply and make sure you know, no, she's just stupid and evil for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck was she just genuinely trying to kill them? Like, what did they do?
I also think it leads to like her villain turn, her hero turn again, which is she goes to Slade after having like they just tried to kill me, Slade. And Slade's like this,
he's
they
like,
did,
"I'm
and then he
evil."
starts beating the shit out of her. He just starts fucking whipping her ass. She's like this. No, actually, guys, I'm good now. I'm like, no, you're not good. You just got your ass kicked, and you didn't like it.
That's the thing. Her character is simultaneously. I understand that the concept is that she is paranoid. The concept is that due to the fact that she can level shit if she like gets a little too, emotional and stuff. That is her deal, and she is paranoid because she knows that people don't like it when she makes shit go crazy. Makes sense. But then she's simultaneously the most gullible motherfucker on the planet, and is like, who of the two of these groups is more trustworthy? The teens that are all like me, or the creepy adult man who is
Smells my
obsessed
hair.
with these teens
Yeah.
and is blatantly evil? I'm gonna go in with him and then be surprised when he backhands me.
Yeah.
It's like,
No,
what did you think? Why did you
And
trust
what-
him?
And what gets me is like she gets backhanded and she goes, "Well, fuck you," and then she like sacrifices herself and it goes, "She was a hero." I said, "I don't know if she was, guys.
Yeah,
I think
she just
I think she
fucking
had a."
what did she say? Like, even when she was a good guy for the one episode,
Yeah.
what did she do
Like-
other than fight robots in a mine? Like,
Her-
what did
Her reaction was she got hit by this man. She decided he's bad. I should kill him. That's not heroic. That's like
Yeah.
a
Yeah, no.
natural reaction
Again-
to getting backhanded.
Yeah, if anything, like they could have used that as a way to make her more interesting, more of her own villain or her own character of like, oh, fuck everybody. They're all like,
No,
I'm
and that's
on my
more
own.
in line with her in the comics. That's more in line with her in the comics. But like, I just like, there was never like a come to God, actually, you know, guys.
Yes.
This was wrong. She was just like, well, he hit me and Beast Boy's cute.
Oh,
so
damn. He wants me to
sacrifice
kill
this.
him. He wants me to kill him. I can't do that. I just tried. I just tried for real, but I can't do that again. 2 minutes after.
Yeah.
Also, those deaths are brutal. She drowns
Yes.
Raven. She
drowns
drowns
Raven.
Raven.
She
And like,
those are all like, again, the framing. I get it was, well, not even a cliffhanger because they show up at the end of the episode. But It, like, I don't get it because the only way it ever makes sense is that she didn't kill them on purpose. But then she acts like she absolutely thought she murdered them. So like, why?
I do. Now we did dunk on Tera here, and I think that's bad because she's just a girl. However, I know we said it earlier. What was Slade trying to accomplish?
What is he trying to accomplish? Genuinely?
Is it
I'm
world
so serious.
domination?
Right?
Is it?
And why?
Well, I guess city domination. I guess it's just city.
Because he's like, oh, at first this city, then the rest of them. So it is kind of world domination, but it's like, to what end? Like,
also with a teenage girl, brother. I don't think this is going to go. I don't think we're going to pull this off.
Why is his plan always, I will recruit a single teenager, and that will be the turning point?
Or in season 4, I will harass a teenager multiple times.
Okay, dog. Do not get me started on how weird those episodes are. Those are like no joke. The season 4 episodes with Slade and Raven are so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And like not like in a okay guys, we get it. Slade's a pedophile, yada yada yada. Besides that, the drawlers, the people who drew that episode and the people who wrote that episode,
no.
meet me in a room tonight and we will talk.
No. Okay. On one hand, I do think that sadly, just because of how flat he is, that him being a toady for another bad guy makes him way more interesting than when he was his own boss. But on the other hand, my God, oh my God, that episode, I literally couldn't stop remembering a certain animation that was on Newgrounds.com. Oh my God, it hurt. I was like, no. Oh,
okay,
oh no.
For those who didn't see it, Slade's like, I got a message for you, birthday girl. I'm like, stop that. And then he grabs her arms and he rips her sleeves off.
Happen whether you like it or not.
He says that. Then he grabs her by her back and rips her shirt. You see her lower back and her back muscles. I'm like, guys, this is fucking weird.
And then she, with her powers, gets rid of most of the rest of her clothing.
Yeah, she gets like her stomach is exposed and her thighs, and I'm like, what is going on in this episode?
What was happening? And behind the scenes, what were y'all doing?
Dude, this is patient zero for Gooner culture, bro.
It is.
I stand by it.
No,
this is patient zero, dude. Like I want to go like you know how people go like this. Oh, you guys sexualize Android 18. She's not sexualized that like that in the show itself about Dragon Ball, which is true. They'll sexualize Raven. She is in fact sexualized that in the show.
I gotta give that credit, and it's odd. Yeah, it's odd. Like, oh my God.
But yeah, I think the fact that he was trying to take over the world with Tera, who could like control the Earth, is one thing, right?
Right. What was it gonna do with Robin?
Was that your plan with Robin? He's just
yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna fucking say. Is that like, oh, season 1 he's all about Robin, and then when Tera shows up, he's like, fuck you. Which I think is cool. Like, I like that as an idea of like, you know, not to get too deep into the grooming idea, right? But just like somebody who goes, like, oh, you're obsolete to me. I don't need you. He like just sees them as objects. Yes. You know, he just goes, but he didn't actually get Robin to be on his side, so it doesn't have that impact. And also, like, of course fucking Tera's way better to have as your sidekick than Robin. Robin's a guy. He's like a pretty skilled fighter, but
including the fact that part of his entire thing, for some reason in this fucking show, is that he makes weird suits that he can override and do shit with. And when it's Robin, it's like he's just a kid who does martial arts.
He's just you, but
he's
worse.
Just you, but smaller and worse. Why do you want him? Whereas Tera, it's like, oh, I understand this. A dude without powers who can take control of the body of someone with really good powers, yeah, that makes sense as like a villain thing. That makes complete sense to me.
I also,
Like,
I think this the scene where I go, oh fuck you, is when he's like, I'm like your father. I already have a father, and a bat flies past, and I go, hey, writers of this show, die, like die, just fucking die, dude. I hate it here.
Should we? I want to talk a little bit about the like shipping culture of the show, because I do think that that's like an
Go
important
ahead.
aspect of it.
I do too, because there is something about the show that I want to say, but go ahead.
So, like, Beast Boy and Tera, that's obviously, like, set up as a romantic pairing, but more of a tragic thing. And then, like, Beast Boy and Raven become sort of a...
That's not real. Rewatching the show,
that's the thing.
That's not real.
I don't think it is, but then, like, fans really agree with it, and, like, they make jokes about it on Teen Titans Go. Like, I just think it's... To me, that would be like saying Cyborg and Starfire have like chemistry just because they have they have that racism episode where he's like, "I'm a robot."
I'm part robot. When he says that,
please put a pin in it, please. We will get.
Yeah, we'll come back to this later.
That episode.
But like, yeah, we got, Robin and Starfire. Obviously, it's like that's like the biggest ship throughout the show. Cyborg kind of gets paired with like Jinx.
And so Jinx gets a boyfriend later on.
Yeah, but then he's like the like Sumerian lady from like the Barbarian episode, which is like maybe she's a teenager, so maybe it's okay.
Also,
it's a little bit weird if an adult woman is like.
Dude, we don't know how old Cyborg is. Cyborg goes, yeah, I never got to finish high school. I missed out on it.
That's true. They could be like 19.
How old are you?
So
like no, but like the thing about shipping culture, right, is that I went into like this shit like, oh yeah, Beast Boy Raven's real, and then after I finished season 4, I was like,
no, it's not.
did y'all have a stroke?
Where is it?
When did this happen? Dude, when I tell you
shit.
Raven's whole season is about her relationship with Robin in a way that's so intense,
She
like,
literally, the beginning of the fucking season, she says, "You know me better than anyone, Robin."
No
and it's
one
like, first
knows
of
me
all,
like you
does
know me.
he? Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I never saw that, but whatever.
Yeah,
But
I don't know
like,
the fuck you're talking about.
they're even setting them up as a thing.
Yeah,
She
he's the
stops
one who
time for
protects-
him.
Yeah. When she's being accosted by the alpha groomer, he's the only one there to fight him. Like it's crazy.
Too by the same.
Yeah, he's
guy.
the one. Yeah, like they
They're
bond over
connected.
grooming.
Their abuser's the same dude.
They bond over grooming, and he literally does the male love interest thing of run.
Yeah. He
Pull
carries
it
her at the
back,
last.
and then gets his ass beat.
He carries her at the last episode like, hey, I know the bravest girl in the world. Her name is Raven, and I'm like, what the fuck?
damn.
Like I'm like,
It's
Yeah,
just-
this is
no,
better
the
chemistry than fucking
Yeah.
him and Starfire.
no,
like, this-
Wyatt. Legitimately, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Because like I think
It's
he even
so
talks
funny
like,
that
she's
he's
like,
the one all the time, though. It's just like both women on the team.
Yeah. I
dog,
get
he's
in my,
leaving no
I think,
shows, bro.
I think what they're doing is like, okay, Robin, he might not have superpowers, but he's the glue that holds the team together, so he's always going to have like a strong relationship with every one of the Titans.
Right.
I'm not sure if we ever get like an episode with
He
him
hates
and
Cyborg.
Well, him and Cyborg. All right, let's not go into. But like, him and they have an episode early on and whatever. They're kind of like treated as like, oh yeah, these two are inseparable, and then that never becomes a fucking thing ever again. And then it's Beast Boy and Cyborg. They're the like
they're
friends.
the friends.
Yeah, which is why Beast Boy thinks it's okay to say words that it shouldn't be. So that's, and
Please shut the fuck up. I just got what you meant, you piece of shit. No, but like I get that, right? I get like that's what they're going for. However, I think the issue is that Raven gets a season as Raven is a character, even if it's a character I don't like, right?
yeah.
Starfire is such a nothing individual.
Nothing.
That like I'm like what Robin, quickly, what do you like about Starfire? Quickly. Shit, bro. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
She's tall. Everyone's taller than you, though.
She reminds me of Megan Thee Stallion. I don't know. Like, he's fucking tripping.
Starfire it's very interesting because like I've talked about this before when we were talking about like Green Lantern and Justice League and stuff like that. Is that in theory Green Lantern is really cool because he has like this whole separate like world from Earth. Like, he goes in space and fights with, and he has like weird aliens and stuff like that. But then every time he's part of an ensemble cast and they do a Green Lantern episode, you're like, fuck, can we just go back to can we stop with this alien shit and just go back to Earth? Starfire's the same fucking thing. Every single time. I'm just like,
every single time.
I'm so bored by your
Tamaranians
like
are so fucking boring in this.
I would even argue it's worse here because, like, at least John's character is that he's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like, at least that's, like, his deal is that he's boring, you know? They think Starfire's cute and fun. She's not.
No,
I don't know. Like,
no, she has a character. She says, "Oh, this is like Glorp Flunk."
yeah, great.
Dude, I love an entire show where a character just does that the whole time.
This is a Ukas Blukinikin.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
great.
It's time for the ritual of fucking dancing. You're so goofy.
On my planet, this is a Rothian Glorfnor. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's it's like Rolf from Ed and Eddie, but less like. But he's good because he's making.
But no jokes are written.
He's making fun of my people,
the jokes are
so
written.
I'm like,
yes.
That's great, you know.
I do think also did you guys watch the How They Met episode?
No, actually,
no.
That was one of the
So
ones.
I literally just didn't get to season 5, which sucks for me.
Okay, so there is a episode about how they all met, right? And in that episode, Starfire breaks out of jail. She's very aggressive. She tells these Earthlings she's a real warrior. She will you will pay if you mess with her, right? And I don't know what happened.
What happened?
I just like they hit her with the trad wife cannon. She has no like semblance of character she has in that episode. Like this, like you could have made her happy-go-lucky, but also go, I am like a alien warrior princess, and I could kill you.
Yeah,
I could
But she
kill
never
her.
does it.
I won't. Could be her
She
character,
fights-
and that would be more interesting.
She fights all 4 of the Titans alone and wins in that episode.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, why is she like damsel in distress some episodes and other stuff? What happened
so-
to her?
I would say, and maybe this is just my own personal taste coming in, but I would say it would be even more cute if she was like aggro warrior lady that was still awkward with human customs.
Yes, and drinks mustard. Yes, that would be so much
Yeah.
better if that was her deal. Like,
Actually, yes.
it's
It gets into a big source of a lot of the issues for me. Where that particular episode does bring into account something that I immediately am like, what the fuck is wrong with, why did they write it like this? Which is, hey, you want to do a bunch of character-based stories. You want to do a bunch of this, a bunch of that. One, motivation makes no sense for anybody because we never delve into it. And two, you know what would have been a great framing device to help with all of that and character development and everything? If you let them actually be a new team.
yeah, no. Listen, I became like those guys online that go, "Hey, here's how to get your screenplay picked up," right?
Right.
They all say the same thing, which is like, hey, story should start at the beginning. And I go, that's a little catch. No. In this case, they're right. Story should start at the beginning. What if we got to see in that first episode? Also, we see how they meet. Cyborg wears clothes all the time. He says he's a monster. He feels bad about it, right? Robin is way darker and like beating up criminals in an alleyway, and he's like this. Yeah, he actually has something to prove, right? I'm like,
These are all great starting points.
Beast Boy literally says, "Oh my God, you're Robin. Everyone knows about you." Like, why was this not the beginning of the show?
Why did you not take it from there and expand upon them? Like, you had it perfect setup.
Of all the teams to start established from the beginning, you choose the first adaptation of the Teen fucking Titans?
The Teen Titans, man. They're teenagers. Like, come on. That is the most classic excuse to have a story where you see the beginning of the formation of a team. Is that they're teens.
The problem is exactly what we've been talking about the whole time, is that the show gets better as it goes on, so that means they got better at writing as they went on.
Yeah.
So they realized, like, fuck, we that was actually bad that we didn't introduce these characters and that we didn't seize on these opportunities, because, like, yeah, at the beginning of the show, you're just like, whatever, you're kind of like forced or told to believe, who cares why they're all together, they just are. But if you're actually shown, oh, why are these people together, like, why do they have a connection to one another, then maybe moments like the weird, almost romantic relationship between Robin and Raven, like, would make more sense because, you know, there's, like, some established reason as, like, oh, Raven joined because of him. You know, something like that.
Yeah, like...
Yeah.
It's so strange. It's weird. Like...
You
want to say, Broden? Go ahead.
It is just such an odd thing to do. I want to bring up in a moment 2 specific episodes, one being what I believe is, online at least, considered the best episode of the show. Or one
okay.
of. And the other just one that I already was like, I remember this episode specifically, let me watch it, and man, did it end up very indicative of the show. Both of them have a similar issue. So Haunted is the episode where Robin thinks Slade is back, but he isn't. And it's because he's hallucinating and shit, which, you know, it was his reagent, whatever. I don't give a fuck about the explanation.
Yeah, sure.
But it's so close to being something. So close. But the thing that holds it back is the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Where you have this very interesting, fun episode of like, oh, okay, so a genuine, like, oh, Robin has gone off the deep end because of his obsession over this guy. Like, he seems genuinely unwell, like, in a way that isn't just, oh, he's mean. Like, no, he's, like, gonna kill himself at this rate. Like, it's bad. You have all of this, but the thing about all of it is that they just tell you something is the case without ever really making it a fundamental part of his character. That being that he gets obsessive with all of this. Which, like, you have, like, a handful of episodes where he gets that way, but it's never done in a way where it's like, oh, this is just because this is who he is. Like, it's a flaw of his. It's a character flaw. It feels so contrived and out of nowhere how obsessed he gets. No, it's just like, oh, he's obsessed today. Like, why? Like, shut up.
Also, that episode also has the most Batman flags.
Yes.
And it's weird because if, like, it's like, it all comes back to
he should have been Batman in the episode. But
you know, if you would have just, like, if we knew, if he said straight up that this is a negative trait he picked up from his adopted father, it would do so much. Or if we, like, I get it. People know Batman around. We don't have to say it. But, like, you guys can, like, use real imagery. I don't mean a bat in a window. Show Batman.
Show Batman.
Show Batman.
Batman. Like, have more... Again, exactly. Create connective tissue between the two, at the very least.
Yeah.
Like,
also,
have him say something like, I know how these things work. And, like, like, imply his history with Batman, and that's why he is the way he is.
Yeah, because, like, the thing is, though, like, if we just got the, like, a little term, like, hey, yeah, I quit working with my old partner because he was too much, which is literally Dick's reason. Dick's reasoning is that Bruce didn't live for anything else, right?
Right.
That's enough. That's enough. Like, we don't know who these people are, and every time they try to do an emotional episode, we don't have anything. It falls
flat because we don't know them. We never know them. Like, the thing with this episode, too, is that, like, so... It made me think, why did they characterize, or rather not know how to characterize, Robin in this show? There are multiple times in this specific episode where his demeanor, his voice acting, which again I attribute entirely to direction and writing, quite frankly, he should be acting more like Batman in the episode.
Yes.
The part... and not only that, but also in the other episode that I wanted to talk about, Beast Within, the T-Rage episode with... There is a point... there is a point... We'll first go with Robin, then on Beast Boy. With Robin, there was a point where they have Beast Boy hooked up to a thing. They're monitoring his vitals. They're finding out what's wrong with him. And Robin is like, dude, you need to remember what happened, or else we're gonna have to take you to fucking prison. And he says it... that is... The way that he is cornering him is a very Batman thing of, like, he's not trying to be insensitive. He just genuinely wants to help.
Yeah.
But the way he's helping is by pressuring somebody. And it is not the time to do that, and he doesn't realize it, or doesn't realize that he is being so pressuring. But the way he's talking in that moment is, come on, you have to remember. And it's like, if like, that just makes Robin seem like an idiot, like a complete moron that is like, this guy is stressed and gets angry easily. I'm gonna yell in his face.
It's anime dub direction. It's anime dub direction.
If he was just pressuring him with like a very overly calm demeanor, that would piss him off in a way that he wouldn't necessarily immediately understand. That would make sense. That would work. But he doesn't. He doesn't Batman it up. And there's so many times where it's like, instead of going for your own thing where you're kind of confused, maybe he should have just tried to be Batman Jr. the whole time. Maybe that literally would have worked better as a character.
Dude, it's almost like superheroes and how they fight crime and their costumes and all that stuff is directly linked into how they were raised and brought up and what happened to them to make them become a superhero. It's almost like that's like a thing of the genre of, all this stuff that's very obvious.
And similarly, when it comes to character motivation and telling us rather than it being the case, that same episode, Beast Boy, holy shit. What the fuck is his goddamn issue? Because here's the thing. It doesn't start with the chemicals. It starts before. They're fighting Adonis, which is funny. I enjoyed that. I enjoy they're fighting Adonis, and he's saying about... He is pretty equally beating the shit out of all of them and saying dumbass one-liners at them.
Yeah.
He's pretty equally taunting all of them and beating their asses. Beast Boy gets his turn, and he beats him up a little bit, but no more than anyone else, and then says, when you gonna fight me like a man? That's it. That's all he says.
Well, you must understand that Adonis is a alpha, and Beast Boy is a beta cuck. That's what you gotta understand.
Like, literally, I know, it's so stupid. But then,
also, the fact that it's Greg Sipes, so Greg Sipes' violence is the funniest part of it. Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. So, they do that, and he says that, and it is no more brutal, quote unquote, of a comment than what he said to anyone else. He is not being singled out. But then Beast Boy, initially because of just the voice direction, I guess, it doesn't seem like he's particularly pissed off. He's just doing the action hero, oh yeah, what about this type of shit. And then beats the shit out of him. Does really well, and then ends it with like him turning into a bear and like just wailing on him over and over again. Which, by the way, season 3, I noticed immediately that it like was animated a lot more interestingly and better, and like the scenes were more well done with the action. But like there are multiple scenes in this season and afterwards where like it gets a little like the violence is turned quite a bit up.
Yeah.
Like, really, like, they don't care anymore. Like, they actually, like, later on, like, him beating down on him, Adonis's, like, stupid werewolf form beating down on him, like, hitting him in the chest with his fists over and over again is like, oh my god. Like, that's... But anyways, like, he beats the shit out of him, and then everyone's like, oh, damn, okay, Beast Boy, well done, I guess. You want to freak out a little more? And he turns to them. None of them have said fucking anything the entire episode to him. And he says, I guess I was just tired of being pushed around. When?
I think...
And the thing is, I think all of this would have felt more in line and interesting and make sense if they were a new team. If he felt like he was getting the short end of the stick because he was the goofy guy.
Yeah.
And they would be like, hey, Beast Boy, can you fucking stop? Or get out of the way, you're in the way. Anything. But no.
Broden, this will make it worse. In the first episode, in like the Go episode where they meet, he goes, like, he's like Gosh Golly sidekick style because he's still from Doom Patrol.
Right.
Like, this would make it work even better. Like,
Yeah.
him trying to, like,
No,
like
yeah,
his dude stuff is like him trying to fit in. It's like, oh yeah, dude, bro. Like, he's trying to fit in because he's like, listen, he's a kid on a team full of people who are all grown ass 40-year-olds. So
Right.
of course he talks like that. Yeah.
And all mentally ill.
Yeah, God, Doom Patrol. I guess I do want to talk about season 5. I think you guys didn't really get to it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, please do.
I watched it fairly recently. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Opening up season 5 with the Doom Patrol and seeing Beast Boy, Garf. Seeing Garfield, like, be with them and be with a team, and seeing Mento be a giant hammering asshole to him.
Yeah.
And Robot Man and stuff. And also, fucking crazy, Robot Man gets called Cliff. They say each other's names in this episode.
That's
the
nuts.
Doom Patrol refer to each other as their names, not Beast Boy, because it's been established he's a Titan. He does not have a name.
He's not a person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm like, oh, well, yeah, like there's like, oh my god, Doom Patrol, and they go, oh, the Doom Patrol, we've heard of those guys. They're like known heroes. I'm like, this is a weird thing to do. Why are we doing this now? What happened? You know? They meet Robin. It's Robin. I'm like, oh wait, this is a weird thing to do.
It's weird because up to that point in this show, as far as we can tell, America is a blighted wasteland with like 5 cities, and only the Teen Titans are doing anything. So it's odd to be like, oh yeah, no, there are other heroes. It's like, where the fuck?
Dude, then halfway through season fucking 5, Kid Flash shows up. Not only Kid Flash, right? Kid Flash confirmed as Wally West Kid Flash.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Voiced by Michael Rosenbaum from Justice League,
Yeah.
voice actor of Wally West. And I'm like, what the fuck?
The fuck?
You can't...
This isn't
a
the
real
same
show now.
Yeah.
Dog, when I tell you me and Kathy both had like this, is this show on? Is it like a real show? Like, it's crazy. And it's also a very funny episode. He fights the Hive by himself. And he goes,
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
very good joke like this, like, why are you guys called the High Five? What do you mean? There's 6 of you. He counts them, goes, because it sounds cool. Fuck you. And like, shut up. And he gets like,
Yeah.
it's a really good episode. And then like we see them travel the world and meet superheroes around the world and like doing their different superhero things and like their like backstories. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
This is a different show.
That's so bizarre because, again, that combined with not starting from fucking scratch for some reason, that feels like it's actually very smartly using the framing device of it being the Teen Titans, where maybe we go over them all kind of growing and, like, getting to kind of expand themselves and become more as people. And that feels like that for Beast Boy. Like,
No, yeah,
he's actually
like,
meeting other people and doing things. And
that season where Beast Boy like grows up and like he grows his own hero, like, yeah, I don't have to listen to Mento. I want to do my own version of stuff. Like season 5 is so good because it's a really good arc for Beast Boy, who was kind of boring and lame, right?
yeah.
And I just wish everyone got that. Like I think Raven's season is like eat fine, but I don't think Raven's like, she's a little bit different by the end of it, but we don't really have a frame of reference, which is fine because you don't really have a frame of reference for Raven in the comics either. She kind of just does show up like that, and I will give it to her, right?
Right.
But like having Cyborg season where like he goes to Hive and like does stuff with Brother Blood, I do wish we knew him as Victor Stone and the stuff with his dad. I think that would help it a lot.
Yeah, no,
but it's
like,
something.
Yeah, it's something though, and that's the thing that, like, compared to the weird shit with Robin and Beast Boy and just them telling us that something is the case, it was a lot more believable in the first episode of season 3 when Cyborg is like, yeah, the reason why I got caught up in everything is because like I didn't get to go to high school really because of all this shit. Like I just kind of got caught up in the fact that I felt like a normal fucking teenager for once, and it was nice.
And
like
I
that
do
made
think-
sense to me, even though I feel like they should have done a little more with it in the episode.
I do
It
also
still
think it's
felt
weird
real.
that during the Cyborg season he almost leaves the team not once but twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like he go, I'm leaving the team because I want to stay at Hive a little bit, but I changed my mind. I'm leaving the team because I want to have my own superhero team. Side note: having Speedy's crazy. I don't have time to dig into why it's crazy, but having Speedy is crazy. Having a fucking like side team with these characters and going no space for Donna Troy, you're evil. You're evil. The premiere, but yeah, like I think like the season 5 like leads into like we meet a bunch of other heroes, we beat a bunch of other villains. The team is not together, and I just think the show's better at writing one Titan with new characters than it is writing the Titans together. They have the worst interplay. Like when they're with new characters, they have way better interplay than they do when they're together, and I'm like, that's fucking crazy.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's just it's
Even
like the show
early
is getting
on.
started. Yeah, even
early on, like when Aqualad shows up, that's the most fun and interesting that Beast Boy had been at that point.
Yeah.
Because he's like interacting with a new dude and has a rivalry with him, and it's like, oh, this is fun. I like this.
I feel like season 5 is, to me, someone came into the writer's room and said, hey, why aren't you more like Justice League Unlimited? I can't prove it, but given the fact that the show's about, we're going to see like little anthology stories about all these different heroes around the world. I'm like, this is Justice League Unlimited. And you know, like a big villain team going to go, all the villains throughout the show. This is Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
It felt like a producer said, why does this show suck?
Yeah, we need to make it better. Let's just rip off a better show. So,
it's so, yeah.
I want to give a shout out to this season because, you know, it has Doom Patrol stuff, but it has like the villains in it are
characters.
And one of them is a gorilla.
Hell yeah.
Mensumala.
Yeah, Mula. Mala, whatever.
Yeah. And his gay husband, the Brain.
This is an extremely funny picture from Wikipedia of him gently holding the Brain.
With a gun. Holding a gun in his hand.
Pistol in the other hand.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Wyatt, you know they're gay, right?
It's like,
Yeah.
I that's great, you know?
Yeah.
Good for them.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I fucking love Monsieur Malin.
And it's just like he's cradling him like a mother gorilla would cradle the baby. So it's just very good. Will I post this image on Patreon or something so that you know what we're talking about? No.
Maybe.
So
yeah,
just
we get to keep
fucking
this
figure it
erotic
out.
picture of a Brain and
Yeah.
no, the thing is, I think the Brain, Monsieur Mala, Madame Rouge, all those villains from season 5 have the most personality of a main villain. I'm so glad there's no Slade even a little bit in the season. I'm like, thank God.
I would
I'm
say
like,
that too because like Trigon, whatever.
Trigon? Oh my
yeah,
God.
he is like he's cool because he's voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson,
Right.
and he's like a big demon guy. But like otherwise, it is like just the most generic. Like
He's an
end the
event.
world demon. Yeah, exactly.
He's not
like
a
real
person. He's an event. He's a force of nature. Which, like, fine, that could be a kind of villain that can work and all that. It's just not very interesting. Like,
That's
Yeah.
why
writing.
pairing him with Slade makes it better.
Yeah,
because-
that was a little better because it
Yeah.
had that all the personality could be through this. God, by the way, I'm sorry. A combination of not only just like changing his design slightly and also just the way he fucking moves once he's a corpse. He's
He's on that
so
cracks.
much more fucking interesting and fun.
You
Just like
wanna
in a
talk-
moment to moment basis.
You want to talk about the final episode?
oh yes.
Please do.
Here's the thing, right? I'm gonna look everyone in the eyes listening to this right now.
Yeah.
If you are someone on the internet who's like, they gotta keep going, I gotta know what happened at that final episode. Was that Tera? What was the deal? I'm gonna say this right now. Call a therapist. Right now, call a therapist and talk to them about what's really going on in your life, because there's no way you actually fucking care.
You don't care about Tera.
You don't
Nobody
give a
cares
shit
about Tera.
No one gives a shit about Tera. Stop pretending you do.
You think you do because you watched the show when you were 10.
Yeah.
What a ploy
Go
to get
back.
renewed.
You
What a
will
renewal
not give a
ploy.
shit about Tera when you rewatch this. I promise you.
I hate executives. Fuck all executives, but the executives are like that. Hey, look, we ended on a cliffhanger. You gotta renew us. No. That nigga, goated with the sauce.
Oh man. Dragon Prince season 7, everybody.
Hey.
That's the. Oh god damn! Did that piss me off when they decided to spend the entire time that the show was airing, like being like, yes, 7 seasons. That's it. That's all we need to tell the story. 7
maybe a little
seasons.
more.
I guess
That's
we
all
need
we got.
9.
And then as soon as they got 7 seasons, they're like, 10 seasons. 10 seasons. That's all we need to,
all
to
we
end
need.
the show. It's like, okay, but season 7, you keep promoting it as it's like the final season. It's like the epic conclusion, you know. They're gonna
Fuck
beat
you. I need
They're
more.
gonna fight Erebos. They're gonna beat him, and it's like, yeah, they fight him and beat him. Oh, okay, they don't beat him. The dragons just kill him, and then he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be back in 7 years. Okay, well, what about the other villain?
Oh no,
You
they
know,
bleached you. They
what
did the
about-
bleaching thing.
Yeah, what about Claudia? The
I
other
forgot
villain,
that was a
like
bleach
the
ending.
human
Jesus.
villain,
Why-
and it's like Oh no, she just ran away, and then she's just like waiting in the forest for 7 years. So get us 3 more seasons, and we'll tell you the epic conclusion
Wyatt,
to
you're
the
crashing
story.
out.
It's
Wyatt,
like, fuck
No,
you.
no, no.
Wyatt,
Are you
you're going
fucking
too hard on
kidding
Jagged
me?
Prince.
No. Wyatt is not cutting out. Not for me.
No, crashing out. Sorry. Crashing
Yeah.
out.
Oh, crashing. Yes, you are. No,
Yeah.
my God.
Okay.
Yeah.
So look,
you're gonna explode.
no, but the final episode, it's who fucking cares?
Who fucking cares?
The real
Yeah.
final episode is the episode before where like 23 teenage villains, heroes,
Yeah, that's like a
fight
pretty
Dr.
good-
Light by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good finale. You know.
But what about Tara? What about my ass, dude? I don't care.
But
Dude,
Tara,
also,
she's a Titan, is she?
side note,
Yeah.
we didn't talk about all the extra Titans, but
Yeah.
I love that we have the story of Kids Next Door would be like this. Hey, it'd be kind of racist and lame if we had the one character who was Japanese, only speaking Japanese, and Teen Titans goes, "You're a pussy." Anyway, Moss and
What if
Meadows
there
will
were
only
two,
speak in
bitch?
Spanish.
What if there were
Yeah.
2, and they had 2 things that, like, reduced and defined them? That they only speak Spanish, and that they're twins, so they only speak at the same time, really, or finish
Yeah.
each
Yeah.
other's sentences. Wow. Awesome.
Right.
Great. I love
Yeah.
I love this. This is
The
great.
Also,
non-characters, like they're just not characters.
And fun fact, they give them like a thing in season 5. Crazy enough.
That's
Because
insane.
Menos gets kidnapped and Moss is by himself, and they
Yeah.
put him on a team with another character who can speak Spanish for him and translate and stuff. And I'm like, did y'all wake up like this was kind of fucked up? Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe it was, guys.
Yeah, we need to develop.
Also, side
yeah.
note,
Yeah.
Jericho's also there, who's Slade's son, and they never bring it up.
That is
Yeah.
fucking insane.
I will.
What?
I want to give one more like little mention to, since you know
Uh-huh.
the Doom Patrol season, is that I remember distinctly, you know, our good friend Nikki was a big fan of Doom Patrol, and I asked him like, "Oh, how'd you feel about the season 5 of Teen Titans?" And they're like, "Yeah, I watched it, and yeah, I mean, it's not really Doom Patrol."
No, they're only in for like 2 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like as in like even the characters in it don't feel like, or like the stories or whatever, like don't feel like Doom Patrol, which I think
So
that's a fair criticism or a fair like point. I don't think that they were necessarily saying like, oh, it sucks because it's like that, but just
No,
saying
no.
that it's
I
just
talked to
like,
Nikki about this
Oh, it's
before.
just like surface level Doom Patrol characters.
When I talked to Nikki about this, I know the number thing they said was, and I agree with this, is that the thing that they get the best is that Mento is a giant cock. I
Yeah.
think like the thing that like and like they don't really give like, you know, Elastigirl's like not a character in it, but also I don't want Teen Titans just can't write women.
Yeah,
Also miss me with that Ravens progressive shit that y'all gonna be doing. She's not.
yeah, sure.
Miss me with it. But like, yeah, they can't write
Wait,
women.
who the
They
fuck is saying that?
Wyatt.
Wait, hold on.
As someone who's in the fucking Teen Titans hate minds, bro, they will make you think, yo, Raven's like one of the most. No, shut up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know about
but
that.
yeah, no, Mento's like the closest to who he is. Elastigirl doesn't get anything. Robot Man is like a little bit. He's kind of Cliff. But Negative Man is just like, what's up? I'm goth. I'm like, that's not really
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
Oh, 2 things. One, real quick, on the TeenTitansFandom.com for the fucking Menos and what are their names again?
Masamenos.
Masamenos. Their powers and abilities are super speed when in physical contact with each other, siblings bond, and ability to fluently comprehend English.
Yeah.
That's their power. Their power is to be bilingual but just not speak English. And 2, fucking what was I forgot how I was gonna connect this, but we're gonna talk about that episode.
No. Yeah, I think that's like the part of the last thing we should talk about. But before that, I do think that by the way, the Teen Titans like fandom wiki thing is the site where I think the most idiots come together to put information in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was gonna say.
They put. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say that when it comes to like, oh, Raven's the most progressive character, buddy, there are people who have very glowing opinions of that episode that we are about to talk about. That are like,
yeah.
wow, it was so good. It really dealt with this in a.
The racism episode of Teen Titans is, and I stand by this, maybe the dumbest piece of TV I've watched for this podcast. I'm not kidding, Wyatt. I've watched some we've watched some shit, bro. I take back everything I said about the Simpsons, not Simpsons, the shitty Flintstones movie are compared to that episode. However, it's also simultaneously one of the funniest episodes of television.
It truly. I knew about the line. I've known about the line for a long time. Yeah. Actually, seeing it in person floored me. It still floored me.
So, the premise of the episode, everyone, is that the Teen Titans meet a hero who's trying to stop evil alien robots. His name is Val-Yor. First of all, awful name.
Awful.
Whatever. Val-Yor's whole deal, like, I'm going to go save this planet, and I could use the Titans' help. So he brings the Titans with him to help.
Yeah.
However, Val-Yor does something that is crazy, which is after getting help from Starfire, he says, I don't need your help, you dirty truck.
Yeah.
I need some help from some stupid truck.
Yeah.
Crazy. First of all, when it comes to fake slurs, truck, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy fake slur, dude. Literally, someone was cooking, get him out the kitchen now. He was...
Yeah. See, like...
It makes me think that the thing that he called...
go ahead.
It makes me think that the thing that he calls the robot aliens was also a slur.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because it kind of sounds like one, honestly.
The Trock, I thought for a while it was Trog, like
troglodyte? No.
Yeah, like troglodyte. Yeah. Which is like the scientific word for chintz. So I thought it was like maybe there was a little... I guess it kind of sounds a little bit like that, so maybe there is still that in there. Right. But, it is Trock with a Q. With a Q. Just the hard Q on there at the...
the hard Q makes it so... Also, when he said Trocky, I'm like, oh, fuck.
God.
No, literally, give credit where it's due. The most real slur mouthfeel word I've heard in a piece.
No, that was...
I'm like, no.
They got variations and everything.
What was the one that Travis McElroy made up? What was that one?
Spray.
A spray. That's awful. Travis, you got to get back in the lab, dude. They cooking you on Teen Titans. You got to get better at making slurs. But no, look, so here's the thing. So the thing is, he calls Starfire Trock. She gasped. And then you go, oh, is he just saying it a secret? He then proceeds to use it as her. He gives her what it named: Robin, Spike, Beast Boy's Champ, Raven, Sunshine. And he says, yeah, Trocky, you Trock. I'm like, hold on. First of all, me, Morgan, if I was in a room with this, something don't sound right about this. Something don't all right about it. I'm like, friends, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, the fact that no one fucking even goes, hey, Like, Cyborg goes like this. What does it mean? She goes, it means nothing. But I'm like, Cyborg picking up on it, crazy. But no one else went, I don't know.
That's the fucking... Oh, my God. So, first of all, we've talked about the fact that, Static Shock and shit has existed on television for a while. By the same, it was also on Kids WB and stuff. It's not... Static Shock was not, young adult material. This was a thing that children watched. And it still
in the morning.
It integrated these messages and things into it, all the fucking time. And it's just so weird that they have I'm fine if they do an allegory for racism with an alien character and not hang it on Cyborg, because that I don't want him to be diminished. As being he's the robot guy and the black guy. That's his two roles.
I agree.
But the fact that he isn't the one, he confides in Starfire, but just the stupidity of him going I know how it feels that somebody looks at me and thinks differently of me. I'm a robot.
Yeah, that's
the fact that he has to clarify it's because I'm a robot, and it's just
it's
why?
Why did
they do that? He could have just said the first part
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
could have been done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they immediately weaken the message by having him say, "But because he's a robot." Like
Yeah.
when I tell you this is the kind of stuff that makes like literally shithead racists on the internet go, "You don't have to put politics in everything." This is what the fuck I mean. Like this is the
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of weakening of messages that make niggas online be like shitty about like not everything has to be political. It's stuff like this. Like we
Yeah.
can't hide from race, bro. He just could have
It's-
said, "I know what it's like," and just end it there. Because the thing is,
Yeah.
though, before he was a robot, he was a 6'4" black man.
Yeah.
Like it's so bad.
It is set up like it's a fucking punchline.
Yeah, it kind
Yeah.
of feels like it
It
is.
feels like a fucking punchline. And it
Yeah.
works like one because it's like, are you fucking kidding me? That's insane.
It also gets worse because then she goes, "Don't tell anyone." He's like this, yeah. Why? Because she's like, "Yeah, you can't punch him out because then you'd prove his point that that's just what you are." And I'm like, I'm sorry to tell y'all niggas, y'all punch people out as a job.
Yeah.
Your job
Yeah.
is to punch people out
You
who
do
are bad
that
people
on the regular.
every
So-
day. Knock this motherfucker out. Like this is literally what y'all do every. It's like Slade just be out here aura farming and y'all fight him. Like this dude's being racist. Beat him up. And they tell Robin, and Robin's like, "No, he's gonna apologize right now." Starfire like, "No, Robin, you can't. You know, I'm doing respectability politics.
Yeah.
I gotta prove I'm good. Like I'm the fuck out of here."
Well, and like like the tiniest bit of credit where credit's due, and it's so funny because half the time it's not even what people talk about when they speak of this episode positively, which is really funny. But at the very least, having the episode end with him not magically unbecoming a bigot because she saved him,
I agree. That is
Yeah.
a good part
that
of it,
works
yeah.
really well. That is a genuinely good lesson to teach kids of like, hey man, dude, you can't just like genuinely. Some people are just gonna be like that, and
Yeah.
it's not on you to like change them. And like some people just won't. They genuinely just won't. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't
sucks.
matter if you save their fucking life. They're still not going to respect you as a person.
I
So-
do
Yeah.
I do want to read a Reddit post about Valior if I can.
Please. Oh,
Please.
you found the one
Yeah.
that I found, I think?
Yeah,
You found the one?
here's this to the DC Comics subreddit 5 years ago. I hate how the Titans treated Valior. I hate how at the end of the episode the Titans find out Valior was racist towards Starfire and they treat him like he's a complete jerk. Yes, the way he treated Starfire was terrible, but but after she saved his life, he apologized to her and said maybe you aren't all bad. It's not the perfect apology, but it's an apology nonetheless. There's
Yeah,
more.
that's it.
But I'm like, right here, this GI robot shoot this man. This is a Nazi. GI robot get
The
in
way
here.
that even Reddit, of all places, the comments unanimously, what the fuck are you on about? Unanimously,
Yeah.
they're like, what are you talking about? One, he didn't apologize.
He said she's one of the good ones. That's an
He said,
apology.
you're one
I'm
of the
like,
good ones.
Yeah,
Take
which
your-
is way more racist.
yeah,
so
he needs to
bad.
take his ass back to 4chan. I don't like that man. He got to take his ass back to 4chan. I don't like him.
Yeah.
Just every comment is like, I don't think you fucking understood a thing, or like,
Yeah.
why are you so upset about his hurt feelings? Like, what
Yeah.
do you...
I guess that's the
it's
thing.
crazy.
Like that's what you're talking about, where like because they didn't hammer it in, even though this is a super on the nose
Yeah.
like episode about racism, somehow they still find a way to be like kind of like cowardly and sort of like non-confrontational about it. It
Yeah.
reminds me of like a good example of this. I'm gonna bring up OKKO again, but there's an episode where Rad like creates like a vine of him like fucking up, and he ends it by saying blorp, like he gets like hit by something and says that, and he puts it, and everybody's like, "This is so funny because you said this word at the end because you're an alien," and like he keeps on being like, "Oh, what about my comedic timing? What about the framing of like the thing?" Like, yeah, that's fine. And then, like, he becomes super popular. Like, the Vine just, like, blows up in popularity purely because, like, he is an alien guy saying...
Yeah, he had to do the King Bach thing.
An alien thing. Yeah, and then, like, the whole joke of the episode is the fact that, like, in reality, like, at the time the show was being created, like, people would be, like, laughing at and sharing Vines of black people with no other joke other than, like, haha, they're different from me. Like,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
ignoring the fact that like the people making the Vines are trying to like create something funny, you know, like they're writing something, they're staging something that's like funny, you know, there's like depth to it, but they're removing all of the depth and just focusing on this one like surface level thing of it. And that's like a pretty interesting, nuanced way to talk about that, while not directly literally being about like that racism. It's like from a character who is very black coded. He's voiced by the creator of the show who is black, you know, so it's like
and he'd be on that cell phone during his break and on during his shift. I'm sorry, I'm black. I'm allowed to say this. Rad do be on that phone when you should be helping guests, but no, but yeah, I also think like what was I gonna say? I do think another thing. I'm gonna give credit to this episode one more time. I do think Val not being evil also helps.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think him not secretly being a bad guy at the end helps a lot. I think it's good that we have that, because some of my favorite DC superheroes would say Troc. Like, let's give a shout out to Hawkman. Hawkman would say Troc. Hawkman's Republican ass would be like, yeah, he's like green. Oh, but look, we got Green Arrow over here, the Troc lover, and everyone goes, whoa, you can't say that, Hawkman.
And then fucking Barry comes in and is like, well, he might not have meant it that way.
Yeah, I also vote Republican.
You can't assume ill will from the way he speaks right now.
I can't. I gotta make a second podcast called "We Talk About All the Republican Superheroes Canonically." I love all the Republican superheroes.
God.
Yeah. Well,
any last thoughts on Teen Titans, anyone?
I was gonna say, like, I think this. How long is this? This is like 2 hours.
This is almost 2 hours long. Yeah, this is long, brother. We've been talking about the Teen and the Titans, baby.
Yeah, which is good. Like, I wanted to have like a nice meaty, because we were like hyping it up for so long. So I'm glad that we actually.
It better be fucking 2 hours long.
I will say. It was balanced. I don't think we did shit on the show a lot, but we do go. It does get better. We do say the show gets better.
It gets better. Genuinely. And like I said, I wouldn't say, like I said, the Bunny Raven episode and the Cyborg the Barbarian episode. Those aren't just like good for Teen Titans. I think those are
they're just straight up good. Yeah,
really good episodes. Right. A little bit weird with the ending of the Cyborg Barbarian episode, where it's like, I kind of would have preferred if it was just 100% tragedy, like he got pulled back to his time and then he never knew what happened. But that Raven comes in and is like, I found a book from fucking 5,000 years ago.
They wrote about it, by the way.
Yeah. And then the like ending message of like, is that you? Why aren't you wearing any armor? I didn't need it. You definitely did need it. One, everybody thought you were wearing armor the whole time because you're a robot and they don't understand what robots are. And two, you put on more armor. Whatever. I do that's a minor nitpick in an otherwise very good episode.
Yeah. I also think that like most of the episodes season 5 pretty solid. I would say like across the board. It's just like I think you bringing that up does bring my last actual point. Teen Titans as a show, these writers don't know how to end a story. Yeah. I think like 90% of episodes of the show end in like the most flaccid cock way possible. Yeah. Of them just like either destroying the message they were given or just giving up. Just like, all right, guys, Robin's going crazy with his session. Actually, turns out it was a superhero thing, supervillain thing. Okay, I guess.
Yeah. There's a lot of dumb twists and bad or flaccid endings. And just in general, like I mentioned this before, but like, the tone is just kind of weird because you'll have so much cringy like anime chibi humor from like that time period, and then you'll get like these like more engaging like serious moments, and like neither like it feels like they need to strike a better middle ground. And then I remember watching the episode with Mumbo and the hat and the Titanimals and everything, and he's like being a goofy, crazy guy, and he's doing like all this like reality breaking stuff, and it's like funny, but I was also like, the characters are always doing this, like their heads are growing huge, or you know, whatever. Like this shit is already happening like visually. I know it's not supposed to be literal, but like it just kind of like deflated what would be like a funny gimmick for a villain.
People just do that shit.
Yeah,
exactly.
I even think that like the Robin might, it's Bat might, but it's for Robin.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
fucking episode.
yep.
Even that episode works less good because the show's doing that stuff. Like when if Batman showed up in like the Justice League show, or when he showed up in like Batman Brave and the Bold, it works there because that's not the style the show goes for.
Right.
Like
Brave and the Bold is like a silly show, but it's a lot more like, I don't know, it's almost like Venture Brosy in the way that it's like silly and like self-referential. It's not really like crazy like wild takes and a sweat drop falls down their head and they whatever, like they turn into chibis for a second. Again, like all that shit, like if you forget all of that stuff happens and you just remember all the good parts in isolation, you're like, yeah, this is a pretty good show. And then like you remember like it's it's so much less than the sum of its parts. Is kind of my like final review of Teen Titans is that it's just like it kind of comes out in the wash as like, this is fine. Watch a few episodes of that you remember being good, cringe through the moments that suck, and then like get to the good stuff and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, and then just like watch Justice League or some shit. I don't know. I will say one thing, like, because you did bring this up, like you can watch all the good episodes in like 3 hours, maybe.
Yeah.
But I do think also just like across the board on the show, I do have to give credit. Even the episodes I don't like didn't feel like a drag too bad. The pacing's pretty good for 20 minutes. We watched a lot of shows that I like, Wyatt, recently that have bad pacing for 20 minutes. Yeah. I will say Teen Titans, even the episodes I don't like, which is a lot of them, they're all paced fine.
They are paced pretty fucking well.
That was we talked about that with the pilots episode where that one like princess, whatever detective pilot that we did, where it's like I really enjoyed it, but you were like, this is too much for like 20 minutes. Yeah, for a 20-minute. There's a lot of 20-minute fucking pilots that we did.
Almost all of them, and they were not great. But
except for Eltingville.
I do think that's why this show got so good at 5, because like once you get the writing and what you're going for in line with, listen, I'd say pacing's one of the hardest things to do when it comes to making a cartoon. Pacing's hard. If your show has good pacing but everything else is bad, you can just hire people or learn it as you go. Pacing's a hard thing to learn. It's a hard thing to learn. Like
before we go, I do want to ask, how do you feel about the show coming back in some form, like a revival or whatever, like a season? Maybe not even a season 6, but just like it's coming back, whatever, like that kind of thing, because that's been such an idea that people have been pining for like over a decade now.
So I have a interesting thing. I think if this show comes back, it needs to do two things. One, we got to have them be characters for the start. We have to have know their names. We have enough history at this point to do this. 2, I will not, and I'm being like over the top of dramatic here. I'm not standing for another Teen Titans show that cuts out Donna Troy and Kid Flash. I'm not. I'm just not doing it. I think the amount, we didn't really talk about it in this episode. The amount of damage this show did to like the wider world with Teen Titans isn't me being dramatic. Like we still can't get Donna Troy in anything.
Yeah, no,
we still
it's
can't
genuinely
get Kid Flash.
true.
Like Kid Flash is more of a contemporary with Wally West is more contemporary with the Justice League than he is with these guys at this point because of what this show did. Yeah. Like this show did real fucking damage. It's rumors that James Gunn is going to use this lineup. Like we cannot escape it.
Yeah.
So if they want to do it again, do Donna Troy and do Kid Flash. And also people going, well, Donna Troy's backstory is complicated. They don't do anyone's backstory in this fucking show.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? Also, my take, simply put, is if you're going to do a new Teen Titans show, do a new Teen Titans show.
Yeah.
Like, actually, like, make it a different adaptation, make it a different iteration. With all of them, that would be nice. Yeah, and, like, actually do it, because we need more, we need the Teen Titans to be able to be as malleable as all these other properties in a similar vein. And it's not right now because of the show. Like,
and
we have Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go. It's the same shit. Please give us a new version.
This is just me asking the universe, if that happens, different art style, than Young Justice or Legend of Korra. Please.
Oh, yes. No. Please don't
make
do
it
that
look
shit.
like either of those two shows.
Do not do that shit, please. Please make it not look like that.
Recently there was like a Beast Boy show that's like coming out recently, or Beast Boy like thing and that art style, I was like, oh, that looks great. I would love something that looks like that. But
I think I've like complained about Phil Barossa, whatever the fuck his name is. I've complained about him so many times I don't have to do it again. But if he says I want to do a Teen Titans project, I will throw a brick through time and space and hit him in the head. Truly. But like, I think even Glenn Murakami deserves a second chance. I think with like he's done after this show and like other projects, he could bring it more in line with other stuff he's done that I like. Yeah. I'm not opposed to that. I need the whole team. I need them to like do like not super. I want to say more like honorable to the comics, like stick with the comics. But then Young Justice is really close to the comics, but it sucks. So I don't know if I want it that close. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
oh man, we're gonna have to talk about Young Justice.
Guys, I'm going to drink Bleach by Titty Kubo instead of talk about Young Justice.
Who should we get as a yes for that? Oh God.
My corpse.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Get the league together. And truly though, for the sake of not just, not repeating shit, and not only just to make the brand more diverse and interesting, but for the sake of actually making a show for kids now and not a bunch of fucking annoying adults now.
Yeah, like 35-year-old.
Make a new version of Teen Titans.
Yeah,
new. Yeah, do not make it for us. Do not make it for 20, 30-year-olds. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I think, and this is truly the last thing I'm going to say, about Young Justice in reference to this show. I think about it every day that they're like, we're going to do a Young Justice cartoon. Like, oh, fuck yeah, finally I get to see Tim and Wally and... What do you mean his dick?
Yeah.
What do you mean his dick? And I start screaming and throwing something like, what do you mean? And just start ripping shit in my home and like, you motherfuckers, who are these people? This isn't even the team. But everyone likes Dick. Nick, we've had enough. As a lesbian, we've had enough of Dick. I don't think we need him in any more things. And I love Nightwing, but enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Teen Titans.
Yeah.
That's Teen Titans.
Well, we did it. We made it through the Teen Titans episode, everybody. And we're on the other end. So we gotta wrap this shit up though, because I gotta go to work in like 40 minutes. So
yeah.
But all right, Broden, thank you for coming on again.
Thank you so much for voting.
Last time we talked was before you had your whirlwind trip to Louisiana or whatever, and that did you like skate on some graves and like knock zombies back into the graves? Like, do you remember that in like Tony Hawk's Underground 2? Where you had to like...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, where you had to save...
No, I only played BMX game.
What a strange reference. What a strange reference. I only played SSX and SSX Tricky, so we got 3 people, different quadrants. We should fight.
Yeah. Are you a fan of snowboarding? Is that like a...
Me, Morgan?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, SSX is my all-time favorite game. SSX 3 and Turkey are my all-time favorite games, yeah. I played them when I was on PS3. But do you like watch it? Do you like or
like the actual sport?
In your life, did you
I don't talk about this because nerds on the internet are weird. I watch pretty much every sport. Football.
Oh, hell yeah.
I watch the X Games every year. I watch the winter stuff too. Yeah.
Well, it makes sense to watch like the ball sports, but it's like a little bit more niche to be like
the ball
extreme.
Sports.
I'm just okay. Shut up. I'm not trying to be like fucking Chris Hardwick or whatever. I'm just saying that like baseball and football and basketball are like more common. If somebody says like, oh, I watch all of these, but if somebody's like, yeah, and then I also watch extreme biking, you're like, what?
Dude. I used to everyone. This is well documented. I used to skateboard a lot. I used to like come home with friends and then just like we would turn on like the X Games if it was happening, or the Dude Tour, or the Red Bull stuff. If it was happening, we just have it on the TV background while we hung out.
Yeah,
that was just kind of like my summers usually.
Now Red Bull sponsors AGDQ, which is going on right now. Everybody,
the most extreme sport there is.
Yeah, speedrunning.
Yeah, being smelly in a room. Or I'm kidding.
I guarantee that room smells terrible.
Oh yeah,
it smells crazy in here, dude. Anyway,
especially, do you remember that, like the lady leaving the seat and then a guy coming by like a few seconds later and sniffing the seats?
Fucking damn the seat sniffer.
No, to be real though, he's real as fuck for that. Anyway, Broden, where can we find you? Broden, where can we find you on the internet?
Oh God. for the most part, it's at the moment just at Twitter still, I guess. I don't know, at Do Brandango, and still not making videos yet. But when I do, probably search The Only Broden, and you'll find me eventually one day.
I believe
one day I'll be found.
Yeah, yeah. One day we'll find it. The Rainbow Connection. Morgan, how about you?
What's up, everyone? It's time for the bits. I'm Morgan. You can find me on Tumblr at Girl Next Door. You can also find me on Blue Sky at Girl Next Door. However, Slade is showing up at my house. He's grooming me. I've told him I'm 30. He says that doesn't hurt me. Age ain't nothing but a number. So he is grooming me to destroy Blue Sky at the moment. The neural inhabitors are going off. But until he helps me destroy Blue Sky, you can find me there. I'm also on Twitter. It's locked. You can't find it. In order to find me, you got to find the 3 colored key cards that Slade wants to steal that the show never explains what they do. So once you find an account, you can follow. You give me a request to follow. I'll probably deny it because I'm not using Elon's site that much. But yeah, on Girl Next Door, on Blue Sky, and Tumblr, I'm drawing a lot. Did my first art piece of 2025. Came out fucking fire. Want to be drawing more stuff. I also plan on doing a bunch of redesigns of like characters this year. Like, knock on wood. I want to redesign a bunch of like Marvel characters because I always draw DC characters. So look out for that. Wyatt, what about you? Where can we find you?
Well, I'm on Twitter at Wasp Ranger, WAZP Ranger. Also on Blue Sky, also Wasp Ranger, WAZP Ranger. It's mostly stream of consciousness stuff, but I do want to start posting art, for one. And 2, I also post stuff about videos, stuff about this podcast. Follow me, get all those updates and everything. Follow the Toon Buffoon Pod on Twitter. I post about the show whenever we're uploading new episodes. Right now, at the time we're recording this, we're still dealing with the like holiday season aftermath, kind of going through that buffer of stuff. But a lot of good stuff to come. Next episode's gonna be Justice League Unlimited, so get ready for that. After that is like Watch Some from Imaginary Friends and Hi Puffy Amiyumi. So gonna be some mixed emotions over the
one
next
of those
couple
things
weeks
is not
here.
like the other. One of those things is mid.
two good shows and one like very bad show that we're going to be doing. So I have a friend who wants to be on the Hi Puffy Amiyumi episode. So
how?
And I guess we'll talk about that when we get to it. But next up is JLU.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Okay. Well, this is JLU with our friend Rexy.
Yes.
And side note, it's crazy we didn't bring up the fact that this show has a Japanese opening. We never talked about the Japanese opening.
Never actually talked about the fact that the people who sung this opening had a fucking Cartoon Network show based on them a couple years later that we are going to talk about. But
I guess find out more in the Puffy Amiyumi episode.
How many kids do you think had a stroke hearing the English opening, and the next episode is fully in Japanese, going, "What the fuck?
What's happening?"
I remember playing the GameCube game, and that would change like every time you like restarted. It would switch between the different languages. I do want to say before we go, I'm scrolling here on Blue Sky, and I saw some Code Lyoko fan art. And
shit!
Is Code Lyoko?
No.
Should we do that show?
Nigga, I just said no twice. No, no, we should. Wyatt, you can't make me look them foreheads for a extended amount of time.
That's my thing is that it's not actually made by Cartoon Network. It just aired on it. It was dubbed in English.
Keep that French shit away from me.
But there's like some like French and Canadian shows that I feel like that, Totally Spies, Total Drama Island, stuff like that. It's like, should we do those? Because those are like big parts of Cartoon Network. But I think no.
I have never watched more than a single episode of Code Lyoko as a kid, and I'm not letting that change. Fucking dude, that show's about e-dating, isn't it? I don't want to watch a show about e-dating.
Like a nerd guy like makes his fucking. He turns like his electronic girlfriend into a 3D PD girl.
Yeah.
And, you know.
I do think we should do Total Drama, but I'm not watching Total Drama.
Why are we? All right, this is going off the rails. We have to end this fucking episode.
Yeah.
All right,
Guys, thank you everybody. Thank you so much for listening.
All we got, we will make it.
What the fuck is happening? Stop it! Free me! Goodbye, everybody. Have a good one. Thank you for listening.
Goodbye.
Shut up!
everybody.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!